Joining me right now is Mahoney Asset Management CEO, Ken Mahoney. Ken, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. Let me kick it off with the big story of the morning. Glenn Youngkin will be the new governor of Virginia. Will this election news have any play on Wall Street? How are investors looking at Election Day 2021?
It will, actually. I was really thankful last night we didn't have any pipes that burst or any suitcases that got rolled in. So it was actually nice to see Virginia got together and so forth. Let's start there. And, look, this was a year in the making, Maria. I mean, if you look at last year, again, we look at the election, Democrats, they lost seats in the House. They lost seats in the Senate. And by the way, the progressives, they won a handful of elections across the entire country. And so the mandate really last year wasn't about going far left. In fact, most of the electorate, most Americans came down middle, maybe middle right, maybe middle left. And what this administration does? They go real far left. They go AOC crazy left. They go Bernie Sanders left. And that's why there's so much inconsistencies and disruptions and concerns, because they're not listening. They're tone deaf. Now, maybe after this election, they'll listen a little bit more. I think last night's election has a big impact on what's going to go forward. And that is Manchin is not going to be in the minority anymore. I think you bring some more moderates over to him and say, wait a second, can we actually read the bill before we pass it? Can we look at the bill, what's in it before we pass it? There's an adult in the room. I think more adults are going to move over.
You make a great point. Yeah, you make a great point, because there are a number of senators who wanted to wait to see what would happen in Virginia before they actually moved forward. And I think Joe Manchin was one of them. He was reading the room properly, saying, hold it, voters are not necessarily all in on all of this spending. Look where we are in terms of inflation. We'll see what this means for the spending package. Meanwhile, Ken, we've got the Federal Reserve today. What are you expecting in terms of the tapering? And then you've got a big day of earnings. CVS Health, Discovery, Marriott, all on the books this morning for reporting their quarterly numbers. Give us your sense of the Federal Reserve, the macro story, and what you've learned so far from the earnings season.
Yeah, so Fed Powell, no doubt, is going to talk about, we're sick of tapering. Look, the 2013 taper tantrum is they didn't telegraph it very well. This has been telegraphed for months. I think we've all accepted it. Probably about $15 billion per, so, $120 billion down to $105 billion, $90 billion, so forth, kind of flatten out next summer and set the stage for normalization of rates. By the way, raising rates, Fed fund rates a quarter here, a quarter there, is not the end to the economy. In fact, we actually hope they're able to raise rates next year. That means the economy is normalizing, so to speak. As far as earnings season, it's been great, Maria. Even though there's been some C-suite members talking about the disruptions and so forth, by and large, the guidance has been good. And then that's what's propelled this market. Remember, September was kind of an ugly month. October, once you turn the pages, October, and the quarter reports coming out, and the guidance coming out, it's been a very strong October into now November. Seasonality sets up very well here, Maria.
All right, well, we'll get the ADP report out in about 2 hours' time. We'll see what that gives us on the macro story. Sounds like you're still bullish on stocks, Ken.
We are. Seasonality, by the way, it's one thing to say, but it's another thing to look at history. Now, there's been 8 occurrences through November 1st where the market, S&P, is up 20%. Of those 8 occurrences, all 8 of them, the market ended higher. You have this performance anxiety, money managers chasing stocks and so forth. And the average return November, December for those 8 occurrences is about 3.5%. So again, it's not 10%, 15%, but no doubt the Energizer Bunny is still going. The Energizer Bunny market's still running, still kicking along.
Love it. Yeah, we're in record uncharted territory once again after another record setter yesterday. Ken, it's always good to catch up with you. Thank you, sir. We will talk soon. Ken Mahoney this morning with us on investing. Quick break, and then Virginia.